What is the difference between oceans and seas? The word oceans implies the large water bodies of the world, namely the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, and Arctic, as well as the Antarctic oceans where we find icebergs. Smaller seas are separated from the oceans by island chains or underwater ridges, which are called bordering seas. These include the North Sea, the Baltic Sea, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Caribbean Sea. The bordering seas and the oceans have some common features. Both contain salty water and restless seabeds. But there are also differences in the variety of plants and animals living in them, and the storm tides, the tides that lash the coast of the North Sea, are hardly found along the Pacific coast. What does the seabed look like? The seabed is that area of the Earth which has been researched the least. However, we know, through sound wave technology, that there are deep valleys, high mountain ranges, steep slopes, and flat regions on the seabed. We also know that the seabed undergoes continuous changes. Underwater volcanic mountain ridges form at place, where two tectonic plates move away from each other, and these ridges grow every year by a few centimeters. Generally, the bed of the flat seas, such as the coral reefs, is densely populated with plants and animals. In contrast, the deeper regions in the seabed are often covered by a layer of sand, dust, and dead organisms from the rivers, which is several hundred meters thick. How are waves formed? Waves are formed as a result of the constant friction between water and wind. If a wind is blowing over the water surface, it carries away particles of water with it. The water starts moving in this way. Therefore, the distance between the wave crests is determined by the wind. A constant wind gives rise to long soft waves, which are also known as groundswell. A high wind, on the other hand, causes small and strong waves, the typical motion of the sea. Unlike the tsunamis, these waves occur only at the surface of the water. At a depth of a few meters, the waves do not create any disturbance. How is salt formed in the sea? When rain falls on the ground and seeps below it, it washes away substances from the soil and rocks. It carries these substances into the river and the sea. You can read the names of these substances on the label of a bottle of mineral water. River water contains only a little salt, about 1 gram per liter, whereas the salt content of the sea is much higher, about 35 gram per liter, on an average. The reason is that the salt remains in the sea. Although the rivers continue to deposit new salts, the seas do not become over-salty because animals and plants in the sea absorb the salts in their bodies. When they die, they sink to the seabed and decompose into sediments.